Hello today again, gang. Playing. I could guess what this game is in like 5 seconds. That's how absolutely rabid the fan base is. But we are playing Final Fantasy VII today. You know, actually, when I first started this up, I had to actually double check to this because I don't remember that freaking opening credit sequence, but yup, it's been that long since I played it. But I'm actually got this on disc. I got it. Got the Black Label Final Fantasy VII because I bought this game when it originally came out. I still fucking have it, and it still fucking works. Though it does skip here a few times at the beginning because I'm actually playing it in my computer on an emulator that makes the graphics a little bit better. It actually makes the graphics actually look a lot better, I should say. But yeah, the opening video, once it gets past this part, picks up. But again, you know, the fan base is absolutely fucking rabid about this game. They've been asking for a remake, they've been asking for fucking sequels, they've been asking for everything to do with this game. Cloud seems to be a really, popular character. And, I'm sure gaming publications still get emails today asking if there's any way to save Aerith. But yeah, this is the actual American first release, so her name in the game is actually Ares. Some weird spelled, not totally unlike the God of War, but since the beginning. I actually, the first time I ever played this game was right after it first came out. I'd actually borrowed it from a friend to play it because I didn't have the money to get it yet, and I was over his house playing it, and God, that was ages and ages ago. God, I forget how old I was back then, but I remember just playing the shit out of it for days and days and days. I mean, the only game I ever played that long for that much time was freaking Final Fantasy. What was it? Final Fantasy 6. Yeah, it was Final Fantasy 6. Rented that game, played it for days and days and days on end. I like the music. Actually got a heavy metal remaster of this music. A lot better. Could you imagine remaking this game? I don't know. It's just like beyond me why Square Enix does not remake this game. If they remade it, even now for PlayStation 3, if they remade it, they'd get all their money back and then some. I remember them quoting saying it'd just be too much work and take too long for them to actually do it, to remake the entire game. I call bullshit on that. I mean, fuck, Final Fantasy 13 had fucking like 60 hours worth of fucking tutorials. In this game, fucking the entire storyline is fucking 60 hours. Maybe. That's if you do all the side quests and shit. Of course, by the time you get to do all the side quests and kill all the weapons at the end of this game, you're fucking Sephiroth's just a fucking cakewalk. But basically, if you haven't played this game, I can't really think of anybody who hasn't. I don't really think it's the best Final Fantasy. I think it's second best. I would put Final Fantasy 6 ahead of this and put Final Fantasy 7. Then Final Fantasy 4. Then Final Fantasy 12. And Final Fantasy 8. Those are my top 5. I might be on the minority on having Final Fantasy 4 ahead of Final Fantasy 8, but and basically, yeah, by the time you beat all the weapons and stuff, all that, yeah, the last boss is a cakewalk, which, you know, I've actually put around 80 hours into the game just to level up my characters, and I beat Ruby Weapon without using any cheap-ass tricks to beat him. I basically beat Ruby Weapon with one character, and because at the beginning of the map, he kills 2 characters right off at the beginning of the battle. And you can actually have them revived by using Phoenix, but I decided not to do that. You can put like Final Attack Phoenix on them and they'll automatically revive all them. And you'll have them for the entire fight, but I decided not to do that. I'm like, okay, I'll beat him with one character. So, I had Cloud doing a loop of shield, you know, fucking safe, and what's the other one? Shell. Had him doing a loop of those. And barrier, or whatever, I forget. Had him doing all those protect things, and anytime I had a chance, I would cast Knight to the Round on him, which took forever and a day. It took me like 45 minutes, close to an hour, to beat him doing it that way. Now, Emerald Weapon actually took me a lot longer because I did not have the luxury of using Knights of the Round on, because I didn't have Knights of the Round. I actually never got a gold chocobo. I never went out to that island, and I never got Knights of the Round. So the way I had Knights of the Round was because I had the master summon materia or whatever. It has all the summons on it. That's the only way I had it. But yeah, I beat him, and you know, sure enough, after I beat them, I lost my damn save file when my PlayStation 3 crapped out, because I'd thrown away my two I threw away both my damn memory cards, my PlayStation 1 memory cards, because I had already transferred all the data over to my PlayStation 3, and of course my PlayStation 3 died, so I could not get my save files back. That really sucked ass, but I'm debating playing on through it again and trying to do it again. Well, since I beat like Borderlands 2 and Uncharted, but it's gonna be my next game up. Now, you know, it's typical JRPG. This was like the JRPG that defined JRPGs. So it wasn't the first game that had this whole side-to-side battle thing. That was Final Fantasy 1. Final Fantasy actually has done a lot for the RPG, world, but it's like pretty much like a laughing stock of RPGs now. They've just gone downhill so much since Final Fantasy 12. I mean, you got Final Fantasy 13, which was just don't get me started on that game. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was just like they was putting graphics in over convoluted story before gameplay. What else? then you got they keep freaking releasing Final Fantasy 13 related stuff. No one wants to play it. So now they changed Final Fantasy Versus 13 to Final Fantasy 15, which is going to be another fucking Final Fantasy set in a Crystallis Nebula or whatever the fuck world it's called. So then you got Final Fantasy 14, which they released and people friggin' hated it. They ended up having to do a complete reboot of the entire game and changed lots of crap in that I heard it's doing a lot better now that they've completely relaunched it. But there is a Final Fantasy PSP game I was interested in, but I never seen it come out. I think it was called Final Fantasy Type 0 or something like that. I'll have to look it up, but yeah, I'm not sure if it ever fucking came out over here in the States. But it looked pretty old school Final Fantasy, like. But yeah, so I'm not exactly sure if that ever came out, but it looked good. But I'm probably wrong on that. I haven't exactly kept up with my handheld games. But my game actually cuts out right here for some reason. My controls stopped working. I was actually using a Xbox 360 controller here, but I got it working. So yeah, that's why there's a jump cut right there. But yeah, this game does have one shocking moment that, you know, traumatized lots of people. Lots of young gamers out there. Really traumatized them. The cute flower girl, spoiler alert, she gets stabbed by Sephiroth. Even though she's been stabbed millions of times before that point, she's been hit, houses dropped on her, and all this other crazy shit that happens in the game. Well, she gets stabbed. And for some reason, they can't just throw a phoenix down on her. They can't cast life on her. And she gets stabbed. She doesn't come back. She's dead. So, I mean, Sephiroth just swoops out of the sky and runs her completely through on the sword, and she falls over. But yeah, she kind of gets the last laugh because she actually managed to pull off a prayer that saves the planet. So the whole story about the game is, if you don't know, is that Sephiroth is just an evil bastard. The story's actually quite convoluted and kind of crazy crappy, but if you can follow it, you're more than welcome to. It's about as mixed up as Metal Gear Solid is. Actually, I think Metal Gear Solid is actually less convoluted than Final Fantasy VII. I could attempt to explain it, but I don't think I have enough time left in this video to actually do that. Here we go, we use one of Cloud's limit breaks. Hooray. This is the first boss you fight. Which is kind of weird because in a lot of Final Fantasies you always fight this robotic boss at the very beginning. It's always the first boss you fight. I think in Final Fantasy 13 the first boss you fight kinda looks just like that boss. It's like a big spider thing with guns. In Final Fantasy 8, I think one of the first bosses you fight is a spider thing with guns. I can't remember Final Fantasy 9. That's probably my least played Final Fantasy right there. It's Final Fantasy 9. Final Fantasy 12. That's kind of a weird game. A lot of people didn't like it because all the characters speak in prose. Now you do in Final Fantasy 6 face a boss similar to this at the beginning, where if you attack him when he's in a certain mode, he'll attack you back with something else. But it's not a robot though, it's a Welk, if I remember right. Basically a magic creature with slug creature snail thing. Yeah, but the boss is about dead, and that means this video is about over. Yeah, if you haven't played Final Fantasy 7 yet, what the hell's wrong with you? If you haven't played Final Fantasy 6 yet, what the hell is wrong with you? You must have been born in the 2000s. Anyway, thanks for watching. Oh yeah, I forgot something. I'd give this game a rating of 10/10. I'll give Final Fantasy 6 11 of 10. But anyways, thanks for watching.